Hello, Blue Jays fans, and welcome to the latest version of Jay's Latest. I am your host, Craig Borden, and let's just dive into all things that are going to be Toronto Blue Jays. Things have been going on in the last evening because it's been a rough week so far in Toronto Blue Jays baseball. It's been very good on one side of the ball, but then it's like, oh my God, what in the world train wreck is happening on the other side? So, the Blue Jays have had vast issues with just hitting the ball. And this is just one of those things that struggles continue is the unfortunate reality to it. The Blue Jays only picked up another 5 hits yesterday. So collectively, for the 3 game series, they have 9. That would be the encompassing catch. So opportunities aren't there. Nobody's on base. Can't get things moving. Pick a problem. The Blue Jays have not been able to muster that on offense. And yesterday, the only bat that seemed to be moderate level of awake was George Springer, which maybe that was finally just him saying, you know what, I'm going to get over this. There was a fun story at the beginning of the game that this just shows how superstitious baseball players are. And George Springer apparently had a bat that had just a little chip at the end of the bat because they make that little kind of like drilled in cup that's supposed to stop stinging your hands when you're swinging the bat. I think that's certain levels of BS because if you're throwing a 100-mile-an-hour fastball at something that's blunt and object like a baseball bat, guess what? I'm sorry to say it's going to hurt your hands and sting no matter what. The physics of it are just what it is. I don't think it's too crazy, but anyways, he clearly felt good with that bat. Must have had great BP with it, this thing, that thing, whatever it might be, and just felt like he had to use that bat going forward. So he shows up to the plate, the first bat with it, and it was quickly gone after that impact. He went and grabbed a new piece of lumber out of the bat rack and ends up hitting the double that drives in a run for the first Blue Jays run of the series, party people. Just how it was. And in the midst of that, he, like I said, he finally got us on the board. That was the first Toronto Blue Jays run this series after being shut out the first 2 games, and just felt good. I thought there might actually be something cooking, but at the end of the day, it was one of those things that we just had to keep moving forward on. And the Blue Jays offense didn't quite muster anything until the 9th inning against Bill Hader, or not Bill Hader, Josh Hader. Bill Hader's the comedian that has way too many voices. Josh Hader is a force in Major League Baseball in the closer spot. So him coming in the 9th inning with a 3-1 lead seems pretty damn near a lock. The Blue Jays were able to, however, do some good things against Josh Hader, and they were able to get on base, do some good things, and just move the ball forward, play base to base, station to station. And unfortunately, after getting 2 runners on, which included a Springer hit and a double from shoot, not computer's locking up. I lost it in front of me. So, anyways, after that, oh, it was Jimenez that got on base, so he got a hit after that. So now you have Jimenez, who's very fast at second base, with George Springer at third base, 90 feet with 1 out. Blue Jays were unable to bring him around and get this game tied up against Josh Hader, but there was something there. Was it a pulse? We'll find out. But let's just talk pitching side of the ball before we talk about that really quick, because we're going to talk Bowden Francis. Bowden Francis threw about 80 pitches yesterday with 4 2/3. It was a slog for him, but he allowed just those 3 runs in the 2nd inning, and then pretty much cruised the other near 5 innings of work. And in typical fashion for Bowden Francis, he gave up a home run for the big part of that whole thing, but then ended up turning into a catalyst for the Houston Astros in the 2nd inning. Christian Walker goes deep, and then the Astros played a little station to station. Zach DeZenzo singled and drove in Yadier Diaz, and then in the midst of that fun, Yordan Alvarez sac flied and scored a run as well. So the home run is the typical what happens for Bowden Francis in his one bad inning or a couple bad innings or whatever. He gets touched up by the lawn ball, but that didn't tarnish this performance to me. The only other thing that seemed a little odd to me, and I think this was a manager's position, was it seemed like it was a little bit short of an outing. After re-leveling things back out, I know he gave up 8 hits and 3 runs, but I was surprised with things that he didn't come back out for the 5th or I mean the sixth inning, just for the go through it thing. So it seemed odd to pull him halfway through the fifth with 2 outs when he settled the ship back down. Things were going good. Maybe it was just we have an off day, want to get some people some work. But the bullpen did well. The bullpen's been continuing to be an impressive spot. So the Blue Jays, march out Chad Green was the first one out of the pen. He gets 4 outs and only allows 2 hits and looked really good. Got in trouble a little bit at one point, but he obviously got out of that and did a really good job. Jimmy Garcia finally got into a game, and so did Jeff Hoffman. Each of them allowing hits, and this is the difference between somebody ramping up for a save opportunity versus throwing just to get some innings work in. But Jimmy Garcia allowed 2 hits, got the strikeout, still looked really good. Those hits, I don't know what it was with the Houston Astros in this series, but they always found those little way to get those little bloop singles and little dinks over the infield and things of that nature. But Jeff Hoffman continues to be a stud out of the bullpen. Allowed the 1 hit, but struck out 2 and looked really good doing those 2 strikeouts. It was efficient. Sorry, people. But the Blue Jays are gonna head to the Bronx. But is the first things first? Is there a pulse? I thought it was very interesting to see what we saw in the ninth inning yesterday. The Blue Jays have been battered and beaten and all these horrible things over the last few days, and it just got really, really, really rough. But they found a way to do something against one of the best closers in baseball to end this game. So I got to count that as a win because I didn't see that coming at all. I thought they were just going to get steamrolled by Josh Hader and they were going to run and head to the airport and just get the hell out of Houston as quick as humanly possible. So I thought that was a nice, encouraging piece to end this game on before we head to the Bronx because that is where we're going, everybody. Got to take on the Yankees, and I missed the pitching matchup. It looks like so. Anyways, it's not Bound Francis. I apologize. It's gonna be Jose Barrios on the mound today, or on not today, on Friday against Carlos Carrasco, the one-time Yankee. And Carlos Carrasco is having a rough go of things at the beginning of the season, and they should be able to take advantage of that. Carlos Carrasco has a 6.53 ERA with 15 strikeouts. I'm surprised he has 2 wins. That's because the Yankees are 15-10 and currently leading the American League East. On the mound for us is going to be Jose Barrios, who has been better, but he's had some ups and downs too, some struggles. It's early things in baseball. He does notoriously well usually against the Yankees. There's only one person he has all kinds of trouble with, and that is the one gentleman that everybody has trouble with in the Yankee lineup, and that is Aaron Judge, who is off to a flaming hot start in the Yankees lineup. But let's see. I do think there's something for saying that the Blue Jays know that they got a pitcher that's been on the ropes, and outside of Max Fried this weekend, they got 2 guys that are going to be in that ballpark because the Blue Jays will face Max Fried on Saturday, and then on Sunday they will see Clark Schmidt, and Clark Schmidt is just recovering from injury. He's had some rough goes so far. He hasn't been able to get his innings up, so there's a chance for the Blue Jays to really take advantage of 2 pitchers this weekend that have been having a rough go at it. But Max Fried is fresh off of a no-hit performance for the innings that he pitched. But if you all haven't heard that baseball story yet, that he had his no hits taken away from him by a box score because they decided to turn a hit or a error on the field into a hit to take away the no hitter. That's just mean. I don't care who you are. That's just horrible. I'd hate to be that box score guy. He was like he wanted to be the first guy to ruin a no hitter by doing that. So on that note, Blue Jays fans, we will see you tomorrow. We hope you have a great morning. Go Blue Jays. Enjoy the off day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.